coming up on Unwritten.
I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I got out of the exam. I called my dad crying. He thought I had a complete meltdown. I had a tumor in one of my vertebrae, so it was almost like close to collapsing. So they had to take it out basically. So it's about how important it is to change how you think and how it changes your life. That was kind of the event that changed my entire life.
Yeah, tell me about what it was like growing up in Germany and why you decided to study medicine.
Well, growing up in Germany, it was interesting for me. I grew up in a village, like a really small one, and I used to play a lot with my friends outside. It was super nice. Like I grew up back in the day when you would go door from door to door to just talk to people and to just hang out and play. Went to school in a very small city as well, which was not the best experience. High school for me. I faced a lot of bullying, a lot of yeah, not so nice moments basically, and decided to kind of take a break from it. So I went to the States for 1 year and I studied my junior year in Columbus, Ohio. So, and that was interesting. I really loved it. I mean, I probably wouldn't choose Columbus one more time, especially back when you don't have, like back then I couldn't drive. And it's a city where you need to be able to drive. It was just, for me, it was crazy because,
It's
uh,
like all of America. There's so
yes,
many, like, that's the one thing that sucks about living in America is like there's not a lot of like places where you can live and just walk everywhere. Um,
it's not just a walk. Also, there were no bike lanes. There were the public,
okay.
like buses and everything, public transport. It existed, but it didn't
Mm-hmm.
really take me to the places I wanted to go, basically. So for me, it was interesting, but I made friends very quickly, and they just got their learners permits and their licenses, so they could drive us around, which was super fun. So I basically had the year of my life, to be honest. It was like one of the best years of my life. I learned so much. I learned English, obviously, and it was so much fun and a completely different high school experience. We don't have that in Germany. All the clubs,
But you went
all
to high school there.
yes, junior year.
Mm.
All it was awesome. I played softball. I don't know. It was different. We don't do that in Germany. We have like sport clubs after school as
Mm-hmm.
well, but like separate from school. So you don't just do anything or everything with your friends from school. It's kind of separated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so afterwards I came back and I started getting into. I started going to the gym a lot, actually, and I
Mm-hmm.
started getting my trainer licenses for like group classes in the gym, for Pilates, for example, as well. And I started getting into the entire health direction.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like the basic story where people study medicine, I think, but I always liked
Oh, wow.
the science. Like, I always liked the body works, why do we get sick, what is happening. It was really interesting to me, and I always wanted to work with people and to help people get better. And yeah, so I decided to study medicine.
And then, how old are you now? If you don't mind.
I'm 29.
Okay. So how long have you been working in the field?
I just graduated actually. I had to take some
Oh,
time off in
wow.
between because I got a tumor and I had my own patient history, so I couldn't finish
Yeah, I seen that. You
school.
had 3 back surgeries,
Yes,
and that was all because of the tumor.
yes. I had a tumor in one of my vertebrae, so it was almost like close to collapsing, so they had to take it out basically.
Oh, wow. How did that impact you, having a tumor?
Well, that was kind of the event that changed my entire life. Beforehand, I
Oh,
was
wow.
A perfectionist. I still am sometimes, but before I was, very into getting everything right, into doing everything on time, just, being like, I don't know, studying, being focused, all that stuff. And afterwards, I just realized that health is the most important thing, and that you don't really think about this,
Yeah.
especially when you're young, because when you're young, you feel like you have your entire life before you and you feel like nothing
Oh,
can
that's
touch
so
you.
true. That's so
And
true.
yeah, and for me, it was kind of like, you know, I had to stop and had to focus on myself and I had to focus on my body and my health. And I realized that I can't take it for granted as I used to do my entire life until then,
Mm,
basically. So afterwards, I shifted from trying to, do everything perfectly and performing all the time, and I kind of shifted to just having more of a balance and to listen more to my body, to put my health first, even if that means that I have to study longer and have to take less classes, or even if that means that I'm not getting an A but a C at some test or something. I stopped caring that much.
hmm Hmm. I'm wondering, uh, what do you think it was for you to want to be able to tell your story? Why do you feel compelled to tell your story? And yeah.
Because I've made so many mistakes along the way, like
Uh-huh.
so many mistakes. And I think if people can hear my story, they can also kind of see themselves in what happened to me to some extent, and to maybe not make all the same mistakes that I've been doing.
Mhm. And what mistakes were those
Well,
besides perfectionism?
um, I never used to take so much time to do the things I love, because when you stuck in everyday life, you just keep trying to get everything done, and you just, I don't know, you keep working, you keep studying, you just go through the motions, but you kind of forget to enjoy life and to be present and to do the things you love. And then you kind of, I don't know, live your life like a zombie until you get to vacation, and then you have like 1 week of vacation, and then you enjoy your life and you have fun, and you feel free and you feel amazing and you feel like awesome, and then you get back to work or to studying to whatever you're doing, and then you're just back, I don't know, going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that anymore. So today I'm like, I have one thing a day that I'm doing that I
Okay.
love. And even
Yeah.
if I don't get all of my work done, even if I don't get everything done I was supposed to get done, I don't care that much anymore, because there needs to be at least one thing a day that I really enjoy doing, that I really want to do, just for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how important do you think it is to enjoy the work you're doing? Let's say like let's say you don't enjoy the work you're doing, but you do like that one thing you do enjoy doing every day.
Well,
Um,
I think
yeah.
for me it became important because I basically hated med school. I hated
Oh,
it.
really?
Like
You
all
started to
of it.
hate it?
I did not enjoy
Oh,
med
all of
school.
it.
I can,
Oh,
yeah, I can maybe tell, I don't know, I can count the days on two hands that I actually enjoyed. Like
oh, wow.
days. So
Yeah.
I kind of went through the entire period of my life not liking what I was supposed to be doing every day. And not
Yeah.
because I didn't like the classes. Like I like the topics, like I like learning about the human body and I like
Yeah.
learning about
Yeah.
diseases. I didn't like the system. I didn't like how it was taught. I didn't like how
Mm.
they how the entire system works basically. So for me, it was really hard trying to like it was hard keeping at it because med school it's hard even if you like it. It's kind of like.
Even yeah, it's hard in
And
general.
then if you do it and you hate what you're doing, it doesn't make it better. So
Yeah.
I needed to find something outside of med school that would give me quality of life. I needed to find my happy places outside of it, so I could compartmentalize better. So I could be like, okay, I'm doing the work, not really enjoying it, but I'm doing it because afterwards I will go, I don't know, dancing, for example. And I love dancing. So for me, it was kind of like go through what you have to go through, get it done as fast as possible, as efficient as possible, and then you have more time to do the things you really love.
Yeah, I think it's so hard, especially because I always tell people it's like it is a privileged statement to like be able to say something like, yeah, like I love the work that I do and it doesn't feel like work, you know? Like not a lot of people can say that. Um, so I always try to tell people like try to find work that you enjoy doing that you can earn a living from, but it's way harder. It's easier said than done, you know? Um,
But I don't know if you are creative, if you know you want to create something, I think you can always start doing that. That's how I started.
mm,
I wrote
mhm.
my book because I wanted to create something else. And just recently I started creating a video class, which I love doing. Like it's so much fun for me creating something, putting something out there. And I think you can always start doing that. Even if you're busy, you just have to try,
Not too late, yeah.
put some time away to just do that. And it because for me it fulfills me, and I want to keep doing it, obviously, because that's
Mhm.
a work I really enjoy doing. And at the beginning I didn't know if it was going to take me somewhere, but it did. And I think you should at least try. You should not be like, okay, it's so hard to find something I enjoy doing, and I don't know if
Mhm.
I could make a living out of it. If you want to do it and if it's your passion, you should go for it. Anyways.
I agree 100%. Um, so you said when you were learning med school, um, you didn't agree with the system. Can you elaborate on what you didn't agree on and what system do you think would be better?
I mean, I can't tell you what system would be better. I think we would need to figure that
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of things we had to study in a very short amount of time. And I don't know if it actually translates into English, because in German we have like a saying, it's like uh, bulimia learning, more or less.
Bulimia.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Like bulimia is like the eating disorder.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah, the eating
and
disorder.
and we
Yeah.
call it like bulimia learning, basically, because you have
Uh,
to learn so much stuff,
and then you
and then
just
you
spit
have,
it out.
yes, and then you have to know it for your exam, and afterwards
Yeah.
it's gone. You forget about it.
Yeah, you don't
And
retain a lot of it. Yeah.
yes, and that's basically what we've been doing. It's like a lot of
Mm,
studying and a lot of stuff that, I mean, maybe it's important, but honestly, like a lot of the things I studied in the first semester or something, I haven't used since. I used like a lot of
yeah.
things I used for one or two exams, and afterwards it never came up again. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like you can talk about if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. Who knows?
Who knows? Um, so do you have a issue with like how do you feel about like conventional medicine?
I feel like conventional medicine is important, and I really believe
Mm,
that. If you have an issue, you should go to a doctor. But I also think that conventional medicine has its limits
Mm.
and that you should be open to explore complementary methods, for example, if it can't help you. So
Mm.
for me, it's about finding, like, basically building a bridge between conventional medicine and complementary medicine, alternative methods, because I think they could both work together really well.
Yeah,
If they are
I
both
agree.
alone, I also don't think it would work because I have this discussion a lot. You know, if you break a leg, obviously you would want to go to a surgeon to see if he can fix your leg, and you probably wouldn't try to go, I don't know, take some homeopathic remedies for a broken leg, obviously. But I also think that people go to a doctor a lot with issues they have that could be solved differently, and they get medicine for it, they get drugs for it that they may not always need, and they could find other ways before having to do that.
Yeah. For me, I think it's a lot of the issue revolves around keeping people in this state of trying to get better, but they never fully heal. It's like, oh, let's just give you like a pain medicine, but like you're still gonna that root cause is still there. Um, so
That's what happened to me. They told me after my
mm,
surgeries, because the pain didn't get better, they wanted to give me antidepressants because I also have like this effect that they help with your pain, and they wanted to give me
mm,
muscle relaxants. And I told them that, like, I asked for how long I was supposed to take these drugs, and they told me, yeah, basically, for the next couple of years because you're in
oh
pain, you're
wow.
like a chronic pain patient, and it will help. And I told them I didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to depend on drugs for my pain. I want, because obviously there's still a cause, and I wanted to fix the cause. I didn't want to just, you know,
Go away the pain.
yes.
Yeah.
And I fixed the cause with other methods, and that's what
So you don't have a tumor anymore.
I don't have a tumor anymore. They took it out. So I went to the surgeon because there was a tumor. As I said, my vertebrae was about to collapse, so
Mm,
it also didn't have a lot of time. And I had 3 surgeries. They took it out. They put like a metal cage in. So now, yeah, it's basically like I got it removed surgically, but the pain and the panic attacks afterwards, I couldn't be in a room full of people. I couldn't have people hug me. I couldn't stand people staying behind me because I couldn't. And as I said, like, the conventional approach didn't help me with that. They were kind of like, yeah, well, you kind of have to learn to live with this. You have to learn to live with the pain. You have to learn to live, if you have panic attacks, I don't know. And I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted to actually fix the issue. So,
what do you think was causing all of so this was you were starting to have panic attacks after um and this was all during your schooling, right? And
yes,
you still got through.
yes,
So that's good. Congratulations.
thank you.
um no, that for real, that takes a lot. Like if somebody is dealing with something like that, it's so easy to just give up and just be like, I don't want to do this. I just want to focus on my health, or just I can't, I feel overwhelmed. Um, how do you think you were able to do all that even though you were dealing with this?
I mean, I was overwhelmed. It was that period of my life. I was overwhelmed. I kept questioning why, why me, and I kept kind of I was angry as well, because as I was
You were angry.
so I was at the beginning of my 20s. It's like your 20s. You're
Uh,
supposed to, you go
supposed to
off
be
to,
wild.
yes, you go off to college. You're supposed to live your life. You're supposed to be crazy and to do all the fun stuff. And instead of doing all of it, I was in the hospital. Like, I was angry. But in the moment, I don't know, I was just kind of like, I knew I had to go through it. So it was kind of like, I mean, there wasn't a choice, there wasn't either you deal with it or you don't, but so I kind of had to deal with it. And I also had a really good support system. Like my family, obviously, they supported me, my friends supported me. So, yeah, I just I don't even remember that much, to be honest. I just try to get through every day and to just, kind of get it over with.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Um, I like to think sometimes things like that happen for a reason. Um, especially when we look back on it. It's like, wow, like, yeah, it freaking sucked, but like, how did that change my life? I like to like, I'm very an optimist. So it's like how like I look back on it and it's like, okay, how did that make my life better? How did that help me grow as a person to be better?
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to go through it again, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's not something you like, but I have no
Mhm.
regrets because it shaped the person I am today, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't be who I am today without that experience, and I love who I am today. So I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with where I'm at, and I have learned and I grew so much because of that experience. And that's the thing, in the aftermath, you can always take something from an experience like that, even though it was negative at the time being.
How do you think it really changed you fundamentally? Like who was Anne Alex before and then who are you now?
Well, I'm more balanced now. I have other priorities, and I stopped, before everything was important. You would like, I don't know, it was like everything people did, everything that happened, everything I was doing, everything was just, I don't know, so important to me. And, all the drama in your life, all the gossip, like, I can't even explain it. And now it's just, I don't know, I have other things to focus on, like I don't get into all the drama of other people anymore. I don't take everything so serious. I don't, and for me, no. Before, if you should have seen me in high school. Actually, I have. So, okay, came back from the States, and I had to take my final in English. It was an oral exam,
Mhm.
and we are graded in points. So 15 points is basically an A plus, and then 14 points an A, 13 points A minus, and so on. And so I took my exam, and they gave me 14 points, so an A. But it's not a bad grade.
It's good.
I got out of the exam. I called my dad crying. He thought I had a complete meltdown. It was
Oh
crazy. And my dad, he was like, "Oh my gosh, she failed. What happened? I don't even know
yeah.
what to do anymore." And then it took him like 5 minutes to get it out of me that I got an A. And he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I didn't get an A plus." So I didn't get, 15. I didn't get the full amount of points, and I had a meltdown over it. And I don't know. Now I laugh about it, but back then it was really important to me. And that's kind of how you can see how it was beforehand versus how I am
Yeah.
now. Because now I know that there are more important things than grades.
Mhm.
And if you get an A or an A minus or a B, nobody will ever care again. You know, it may seem important in the moment, but it's just in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of life, it is not important. And that,
Oh yeah.
for me, I look back and a lot of moments, you know, like I don't know, fights with people I love or with friends, and you just, you know, in the moment they all seem so big and so important, and then once you have, like, once you put everything in perspective, you just realize that there are so many things we get upset about that are, yeah, not important. That you know,
Yeah. So, what advice would you tell somebody right now who's maybe going through something traumatic? Um, yeah.
well, when you go through something traumatic, I think in the moment it's the most important part to just try and keep going to get through it. And
Mm,
all the, you know, I'm hesitant being like, okay, I have the perfect advice to give you there
yeah. It's
because
always different for
it's
everybody. Yeah.
always different for everyone. And I just know from when people told me, oh, everything was going to be fine, I it
You
didn't
don't
help.
feel
It
like
didn't
it.
help me. I
Yeah. You
wasn't
don't feel
feeling it.
like
I
it.
was in pain. I was, you know, feeling bad. And then somebody telling you, "Oh no, it's gonna be fine." Uh, I don't know if that's the best way to go. Um, but I would,
I like to tell people to just, I always just say take it day by day,
yeah,
like day by day. Try to try to get sleep. Um, Try to take care of yourself, like the basics.
yes,
Like it may not help your immediate issues, but you will feel even just a little better, if you just take it day by day, get rest, take care of yourself.
yes. And maybe I would
Yeah.
add, you know, do something you still can do and you enjoy doing. Just even with
Mm,
something small, but something, I don't know, arts and crafts, sports, something, read a book, you know, do something that makes you happy still.
mm-hmm,
So you don't
mm-hmm.
just, you know, be miserable every day, all day long.
Yeah, that's the hard part though too, because people who fall into a depressive state,
Yeah.
they start to slowly not enjoy things that they used to enjoy, and then they can get lost in this like cycle of like, I don't know what to do. I don't enjoy the things I used to enjoy, and it's a lot of these issues that people have that you can't see. It's like you see somebody walking every day, like they look fine, but you don't know what's really going on inside them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so, and do you have anything? What's your future look like? What's your ambition? Um, yeah.
Remember how I told you about, you know, this bridge between conventional medicine and alternative
Mm,
methods? So
that's what you want to focus on?
that's something I want to focus on. That's something I want to build
Mm,
because I think
me
both
too.
are important. So that's one of my focus points. And yeah, for the nearer future, I'm focusing on my projects. As I said, you know, I've written my first book. I'm starting to write a second one. So I'm kind of like, you know,
Wow. Maybe
um,
you're supposed to be a writer.
maybe I like writing. I do enjoy it. And yeah, I want to focus on my projects. I've started doing like an online course. It's in German so
Mhm.
far, but I'm, yeah, building on that because I like doing my own projects. And
Yeah,
then I want to build the bridge basically to conventional medicine so people can get the help they need from both aspects.
I love that. I have the same mission. I want to bridge the gap. Uh, for me though, I want to focus on like mainly holistic,
Mhm.
like let's do holistic first, like everything holistic Eastern medicine style stuff, and then if that doesn't work, then we can try conventional. Like I want to do it the opposite way. Like let's do holistic first and then work our way up.
Mm.
Like conventional would be like last resort type of thing. Well, tell us about your new paths.
Well, basically, it's like a guide you can use. I have a
Mm,
lot of exercises in there you can use in everyday life to kind of start taking responsibility for your life, to start being able to create your own life. It's a lot about self empowerment
mm,
because I found that a lot of the time we just go through life and we think life happens to us instead of that we can actually shape our lives. So it's a difference, and we can shape our reality. And I have it's a mix. I have some theory in there, but in my first book, I tried not to focus too much on theory because I wanted to have a more practical approach.
yeah.
But the main idea is about something. It's called neuroplasticity. But it's
Yeah. Yeah.
basically that your brain is able to rewire itself, and that the neuronal pathways that fire together over and over and over again, they can like, you know,
Wired
get
together.
they wire
Fire
together, they
together, they
get
wire
stronger. Yes.
together.
So that's basically it. So it's about how important it is to change how you think, and how it changes your life if you change your thinking. And then it has a lot of personal
Mm,
anecdotes. So
mm,
I'm trying to show people how they can use these techniques I'm talking about in their life by showing them how I used them in my life. So it's like part of my personal journey, part of my
yeah.
I talk about how I was being bullied in school, how I went through it. I talk about my tumor. I talk all about all the issues basically I had in life and how I overcame them or how I worked on them. And at the same time, I give them practical techniques and imagination exercises to try to apply it to their own life.
I'm curious about your bully story. Are you I'm like, what were you being bullied about? Like
Um, it was kind of like a downward spiral. I don't know. Uh, it started with a
this
boy
was
I
in
like.
middle school?
Yeah,
Like
no,
middle school?
it was
High school?
okay. So I started. Basically, it was high school, but we started in the
High
fifth
school.
grade. So it was kind of like a mix between middle school and high school.
Uh,
But it was fifth grade, and I just started a new school. And there was this boy I used to like in elementary school, and we used to be really good friends. And until now, I don't know what happened, but the first day we've met again, he basically called me a big fat cow. I don't know why. It was the first thing he said to me. I was, I was thin. I was a really like thin child and everything. So it was super weird. And then he kind of started, I don't know, he just kind of started being mean to me. And he started getting other boys to be mean to me as well. And then it just kind of spiraled into me trying to make myself feel better by eating chocolate, sweets. And then it was kind of like, they called me fat and I was upset. So I went to eat some chocolate and I felt better for a short while, but I gained weight. And then I actually became overweight. And then the bullying got more, obviously, because, then it was kind of like, I don't know. It got worse.
this
And
was happening for years, you
it
said?
was happening for
With
years.
like this like the same group of people?
Yes, fifth grade until 10th grade. And it started affecting my grades as well. For example, in
Yeah.
English, because I always wanted to learn English.
Mm.
It was like a dream of mine. And they would laugh at me in class because my pronunciation was really bad. Because, you're just learning. Like, obviously
Oh,
it's
you
not.
said your
Yeah.
pronunciation.
See, it's still, you have uh, it was never easy for
No,
me.
you're super
No,
fluent. You're good.
but yeah, so it was bad and they laughed at me, so I stopped wanting to learn English and I stopped speaking and
Mm.
I stopped being excited about it. And that's when I realized I had to get out. And that was,
And
basically
that's
why I
when you
got out
moved.
and moved to the States. I moved there with very little English, actually.
Your parents
My
just moved you, or
No, no, my parents supported me. It was, an official, we had like an organization. It was like an official exchange year. So
oh,
I
okay,
went
okay,
there. I lived with host parents, they were great.
okay.
They did think
Yeah,
I was kind of crazy at the beginning, because the
it's
first 2 months I didn't talk because I couldn't talk. I
oh,
didn't speak English. I could be like, "Hi, how are you? What's your name?" And my name is. That was the extent of my English prowess, basically. So I didn't talk
oh
for
wow.
2 months and just kind of tried to,
So
understand what
you
was
picked it
happening.
up
And
like
I,
in high school, like learning it a
yes,
lot,
I
being
picked
surrounded.
I picked it up. I mean, it took me
Yeah,
6 months to become fluent. So once I
mm,
started picking it up, I picked it up
that's
fast.
super fast. Yeah.
Um, but the first 2 months I didn't talk, and then month three, and they wished I would have stopped talking again because once
Oh, you just kept talking.
yes, I talk like a waterfall. It's like it's a I talk a lot,
It
and
just spills out of you.
so I talked their ears off, but I became fluent, and it was what I needed because when I came back to Germany, there was this entire year apart, from my bullies, and they were a grade above me, so I didn't see them anymore, and I was in a new grade, new people. Um, I didn't really make friends with them, but at that point I also didn't care anymore. I just focused on my last 2 years of studying. I focused on getting a job, and my trainer licenses. Um, but yeah,
Seems like that year helped you a lot
it was awesome.
change and develop as a person.
It was that
You
year
needed
was
it.
one of the best years of my life. Yeah,
Oh,
and I made great friends in high school there, and it was great.
so let's talk about the neuroplasticity. So what is the practical side of that? Like let's break it down. How did you really change?
Okay, I started by focusing on how I think because normally, all your thoughts are kind of in the background. It's like just
Mm-hmm.
background noise, and you
Your
don't really,
subconscious.
yes, you don't really. I mean, obviously, you know that you're thinking, but you don't pick up on everything. And then a lot of the times you
Yeah.
say stuff like, "Oh, I'm so dumb. I forgot to take out the trash," for example, or "Damn, I'm an
The
idiot."
negative
You
thoughts.
kind of like talk badly about yourself, but you don't really realize what you're doing. And you're
Mm.
also, you may not even mean it, but your brain doesn't know that you don't mean it because you say it. So it was kind of like at the beginning, I just started noticing my thought patterns and how often I
Mm.
would say like negative things about myself or think negative things about myself, and then I could kind of follow these patterns and be like, okay, um, once I start doing it, I just go into a direction where I start either being mean to myself for not accomplishing something I wanted to accomplish,
Like
or being,
sabotage.
yes, be
That's common.
dissatisfied, or just, yeah, I don't know. It was really interesting to see how we have like this habit of thinking basically, and that's
Mm.
how you all like think every day, and then you automatically have certain responses and certain reactions because of
Mm.
the way you think. So I started just noticing it. That's basically the first thing you can do. And then I started changing it. So I started stopping myself every time I would think a thought that wasn't beneficial for me or for my life. I would make a cut. I would stop myself and I would redirect into a direction I wanted to go to. I wanted something I wanted to accomplish, something positive, something nice. Just being more nice to myself, and that's how I kind of tried training my brain to get out of these usual patterns, to go into a new area, to just think more kindly and more positively about myself, about what I'm doing. And that actually really helped, and it got easier with time. That's what I said about neuroplasticity. Because the more
Mm.
often you think in a certain way, the easier it gets. And the less
Mm.
often you think in a negative way, for example, the weaker those patterns get, and the less often
Yeah.
you get sucked back into it.
Yeah. So this could be applied to anyone.
Can be applied to anyone and to anything. And that's the cool thing about it, is that it's all on you, like you can do so much with it. And you can basically you can change your complete, I don't want to say personality, but you can change your complete way of thinking.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's something, for me, it was really important, because a lot of the time, we go to the doctor, for example, to other people, and we want other people to fix us. We have a problem, we have an issue, and we go somewhere because we want somebody to fix it. But while doing that, you lose, like like self responsibility. It's just you start forgetting that you're actually the one who has so much power, who can change so much if you were gonna start doing it. And changing your
Yeah.
thinking is one of the first steps you can do, and it's one of the most powerful steps.
So the first thing that I think of is how do people really start to believe it though? Like let's say they want to change something, or let's say they have a goal, and before they were always like, I can't do this. I'm never gonna be able to do it. And then let's say they change their thinking to whatever it is, like I can do it. I am gonna do it. How do they actually get to start believing like this is true? Like
That is one of the issues I
just
have.
takes time or what?
No, nah, it's one of the issues I have with affirmations, because when you have like an affirmation, you just tell yourself,
Oh, affirmations, you
yes,
said?
you tell yourself
Okay.
some words without really believing them at the beginning. You just
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
try to, like, for me, it's more like lying to yourself, to be honest. But what I was doing, you have to get your whole body involved. Like, you can't just tell yourself something you don't believe. If you lie to yourself, you're lying to yourself. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
But what I did, and what I love doing, is trying to just imagine how it would feel if you were able to do it. For example, let's take public speaking. You want to hold a presentation in front of hundreds of people, and you're afraid, you get stage fright, you start mumbling, I don't know. It never works for you. But then I would start
Yeah.
by just imagining how would it feel like to successfully do it. Just be imagine yourself in front of the
Visualize.
audience. Imagine your front, like with all of your senses. It doesn't, don't just visualize, imagine, like how would it feel? Would you feel the light on your skin? Is it going to be warm? Is it going to be cold? What can you hear? Can you hear the audience? Can you hear yourself breathing? What do you see? You use all of your senses to really immerse yourself into the situation, and then you imagine what it would feel like to successfully give your talk. And the fun part about this is that your brain, it doesn't really differentiate between what's really happening and what you're imagining. And that's a bridge you can build, because for your brain, if it feels real, if you imagine it as if it is real, for your brain it is. And you can use that to go into the situation over and over and over again until it feels natural. And so you're basically
Yeah.
training yourself to be a successful public speaker without even being in front of an audience. And then when you get in front of the audience, you've been doing it in your mind so often and so successfully that it will work.
What have you used this for besides
I
that?
use it for everything.
Everything?
I use it for everything. I love doing it. For me, because I have a talk with a friend, like the same talk a lot, because
Hmm.
she calls herself, realistic, and she's a realist, and for her it's
Oh, I've
kind
heard
of,
that before.
she doesn't say it's like crazy, but for her it's kind of like
uh,
hard to imagine doing all of it because it's not technically real. And for me,
yeah.
it's just, it's it's helped, and there are actually some studies. Um,
Hmm.
don't ask me who
I think
did.
even sports, I think
Yes,
they do it in sports a
yes,
lot
yes.
too.
They
Yeah.
did. They have some studies about it where they like trained some finger muscles, and the other group just imagined training their finger muscle.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I
there are
heard
some
that one.
studies about it that actually works as well. And for me, I'm just like, even if it doesn't, just let's just say we don't know. Even if it doesn't, you don't have anything to lose. And that's the discussion I
Yeah,
keep having with her,
yeah,
because she just says, okay, it's not realistic, which is fine. But why not just try it? Because you
yeah.
don't have, like, you can't public speak anyways. So you could just try it, and at least it's gonna give you a nice moment. Because at least you're gonna feel nice while you're imagining it. So
Mhm.
take 5 minutes, try it. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't help, but at least in those 5 minutes, you also have like all those happy feelings because you imagined yourself being successful public speaker. And that's, for me, I just play around with it. And if I get bored, or if I'm in the train or something and have some time, I just imagine myself doing something really cool. And it's fun, and I feel good in the moment. And then I keep practicing it over and over until I can do
What are
it.
you imagining right now?
Right now, I'm focused on talking.
Well, like recently, can you think like what have you been
Um,
trying to? I mean, I just like to call it manifest. Like that's how I manifest is by doing exactly what you just described. Is I try to feel it, think it, believe it, see myself doing it, imagine like exactly how it's gonna play out. And I've surprisingly experienced a lot of, I don't know if you've heard of synchronicities,
yeah.
but surprisingly, like, what? This is just wild, like how this works sometimes. It seems like just wild, random coincidences, but for me personally, I've experienced them too often
Yeah.
for it to be like, wait,
I I was about to say,
I,
I don't believe in coincidences anymore. Ever since I started doing this, I don't believe in coincidences because too much has happened, where I'm just like,
it's like something like it's like something science hasn't, for me, it feels like something science hasn't been able to keep up with.
mm,
But I feel like the way I think about it scientifically, as science as possible, is like I feel like we like our thoughts have energy, and even though we can't see it, we don't know how far it goes, but whatever we think, it shoots out energy somewhere, wherever.
that.
And then if it's powerful enough over time, that thought is so powerful that somebody receives it, and it links up somehow.
And that's why I'm saying, that's why it's so important to be aware of what you're thinking, because it works both ways. It works with a positive, and you can pull so much positive energy into your life with your thinking, but also in the negative. So,
Mhm.
and that's because you said manifesting, and that's the fun part, because with your thoughts, you manifest, if you want to call it manifesting, and you manifest the good and the bad. So it's your choice. And
Yeah.
what would you rather do? Would you rather, because every time, and we use imagination every single day, but mostly, and most people use it in a negative way because they are worried about, I don't know, the talk with their boss. So they start thinking about, how it could go, what all the negative consequences could be. They start being worried, they start going through a situation over and over again, getting worked up, getting upset. That's like worrying about the future. They do the same with the past. They had an experience, I don't know, which was embarrassing, and then they go through it over and over again, and they think about it over and over again, and then they talk about it over and over again, And so they are stuck in this bubble of negativity and they keep repeating it over and over again.
Okay.
And now imagine doing the same, but
Yeah.
with positive things, with the things you want in life, with the things that make you happy. So it's basically just or focus. And would you rather focus on the negative or the positive?
Yeah, and I think even when you do this practice, it makes you more resilient, um, for even when bad things do happen to you,
Yeah.
because you can't control all the negative whatever happens to you in life that may be hard. I think practicing this also helps you become more resilient. There's a difference between being seen and being visible.
Well, it's
Does that mean?
for me, it means that just if you're being seen is something that's happening to you. People see you. Um, they may have their opinions. They may judge. They may not. It's something that kind of happens to you. But being visible, that's how you are. That's your authentic self. How you
Mhm.
express yourself. How you go into the world and just be who you want to be. For me, it's kind of like one is passive, being seen, and one is active, being visible, showing yourself, making yourself visible.
So one is being like, I like to say, like, to be unapologetically like yourself, to be authentic and show up as the true you, even when it's kind of
Yes.
scary sometimes, maybe. The next one we had was some answers only come when you're far enough to hear the question.
Yeah, for me, it's about when you're too deep into an issue, you can't think clearly anymore. You don't see. In German, we have another saying. It basically means or says you can't see the woods because of all the trees, because you can you're just
Oh
so
yeah,
like. Someone in
that's
English too?
common. That's
All
common.
right,
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, so
yeah, yeah. You can't see the forest. You can't you can't see the woods from the trees. So like you have to, like, if you're in the forest, you can't see the entire
exactly.
woods, right? So if you're in the
And sometimes you have to get away.
yeah.
Sometimes you have to get out of the situation. Sometimes you have to go away for a bit to find yourself again, to recharge and to rediscover what you want to do, who you are, where you want to be.
I 100% agree. Sometimes you need to like take a break from everything and um really find something that you can meditate. Like like you don't have to just sit down and just breathe for like an hour. Like go on a hike with like just by yourself or something, or go work out with no music, just you and yourself, or do something where you can like reflect. Um I think
Yes.
that helps. Um and then the art of letting go. A new chapter doesn't come with a clean slate. You bring everything with you. The coping mechanisms that got you through hard times but don't serve you anymore. The version of yourself you outgrew. One. Years that made sense once and just never got unpacked. Most people don't notice until they're all in the new dreams, wondering why it still feels like the old one. The first step is just getting specific. Not I need to let go, but what exactly? Is it a belief, a pattern, a relationship, or an old version of yourself?
Yes. So basically, the first thing you have to do if you want to change something, no matter what it is, you have to realize it. And for me, that's like, because people are just like, okay, let it go. And
Yeah.
I, how do you let go? You know, how do you actually go through the process of letting go? And for me, it just begins by realizing
Yeah. Yeah.
what you currently don't like in your life and how you picture your life, where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then for me, it's bridging the gap. And at first, you have to realize what doesn't serve me anymore. Are there maybe relationships? And I invest a lot of time and energy into a relationship, but after meeting that person, I always feel drained and I don't feel great and I feel low energy. So that kind of shows you maybe the relationship isn't good for you anymore. And a lot of the time we hold on to a lot of old things because it's comfortable, it's familiar, you know, we kind of have an attachment to it. And we need to realize that sometimes these attachments
Yeah.
don't serve us anymore. And if we want to grow, if we want to develop the person we want to be, sometimes we need to make a cut, even though it feels scary at the moment. And at the heart of all of that, you have to realize what you want, where you want to be, what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good, what gives you energy, what drains your energy.
That's really good. What is something that you had to let go of recently?
Well, for me, I had to let go of a friendship recently because it didn't work
Mm.
anymore. It drained me. I put a lot of effort, too much energy into it, and I didn't get anything like that back anymore. So for me, it was hard. You know, like I am very loyal and I try to make it work a long time. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just realize that it just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah. There's a saying to let go of what no longer serves you
Yeah.
in your life. Yeah. Um, so two last questions.
Ah,
How
yeah.
you cut out again?
All
I
right.
could still hear you though.
Last questions.
Uh, Oh. Um, so if there's one thing you could change in the world today, what would you change?
Mm, that's a hard one. I would want people to start taking more responsibilities for their life and to realize that they can create the life they want and that they are not, you know, the victim. Because I think there are so many out there who have this victim mentality. And if you start realizing that you have the power to create your own life, you also start realizing that you don't have to put others down to achieve your goals. And you start realizing that you can lift other people up so everybody can follow their dreams and achieve their goals, and you can work together and you don't have to.
You said you don't have to, you said you don't have to, uh, what you say?
You don't have to put others down. You know? You start
Um,
realizing that
oh, yeah, there you go, there
yeah,
you go.
you start realizing that you can, you know, you don't need to put others down. That the loss of somebody else isn't your win, but that you can, you know, work together. You achieve both of your goals, and that's just if you're self-reflected enough and if you're secure enough in yourself, you you don't feel the need to put others down anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
And
so true. That's
if
so
everybody
true.
does it, you know, we would have a completely different society. Like living together would be completely different.
Yeah. I feel like when you reach that point, you actually want to help more people then. Like you don't ever want to bring
Exactly.
people down anymore. even if they try to bring you down, you don't
Yeah.
try to stoop to their level anymore. So, yeah, that's good. And finally, Anne, what is one thing you'd like whoever's listening to take away from this entire podcast?
Well, I would like them. I know I'm repeating myself, but I would like them to realize that they are the creator, and they should never let anybody tell them what is possible, what's not possible. Because we talked about reality, and everybody has a different reality. And
Yeah.
just because one person says it's not realistic, it may not be realistic for that person, but it doesn't mean that it's not realistic for you.
Mm, that's so good. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope I hope you got that on the last parts with the bad recording. I don't know what's happening. I think it's because it's starting to storm that the connection just gets bad.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try to fix it in
But it was really fun
editing.
talking to you.
But yeah, thanks again. And
It was really fun talking to you. That was very, very nice.